Welcome back to the IR podcast in quarantine. This podcast is brought to you by the Incandescent Review, a nonprofit teen-run literary magazine. The IR podcast consists of 5 teenagers across the U.S., and we take turns talking about topics relevant to our life and larger issues going on in the world. I'm Katie, and
I'm
today
Ocean.
we are joined by our Incandescent studio director, Minnie Zhang.
Hi, nice to meet you guys.
Hello. Hi, Minnie. So today we're going to be
Hey.
talking about astrology. Yay!
My favorite topic. I'm super excited to get down in this with you guys.
Okay, so we should just do like what's everyone's zodiac sign first. I'm a Pisces.
I'm a Scorpio.
I'm a Sagittarius.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna get along great.
We're gonna have. I don't understand what that means. So I don't know anything about. I know very little about zodiacs.
Well, great. I guess I can kind of start off with like a crash course, maybe. How does that sound?
That sounds good. Like, yeah.
All right, so I'm just going to tell you guys like a little bit of a crash course into astrology and then kind of talk about my feelings and the big question, what do I actually believe in astrology and all about that. So quick rundown to astrology. There are 12 signs, and the sign that everyone says they are, like I'm a Pisces, I'm a Gemini, so on, they're usually referring to their sun sign. So in astrology, it's not just like you're defined by that one single sign, that one date you were born in, but also a whole ton of other things. There are things like houses, different planets which govern different areas in your life. And so all of that comes together to form a birth chart. Which really kind of go in together to kind of create who you are as a person and how you might tick in different areas of your life. So for example, I have a Scorpio Mercury, and so Mercury governs communication, which means that my communication style, I'm super analytical. I like to go into like the nitty-gritty of things. I'm very methodical, all of that. And so yeah, that's kind of like how different areas in your birth chart play into who you are as a person. And there's also a lot of other things like modalities and elements. You guys know about that?
I don't know what modality.
No.
I don't know what that is.
Right. Okay. I'll just start with elements first because it makes a little bit more sense. Yeah. So there are 4 elements. Water, air, fire, earth. And with 12 signs, that means there are 3 signs in each element. So, for example, water signs are Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. That means that Katie and I are actually kind of similar. Maybe you'll agree with that, maybe you won't. But all of these signs, if they're in the same element, share like similar qualities. So, for example, fire signs are known to be very, fiery and passionate and outgoing and so on. Modalities, on the other hand, so there are 3. There's fixed, mutable, and cardinal. So fixed signs are like the really stubborn signs. They have like this energy that makes all their projects kind of, stay there, right? They're the ones that kind of make sure change sticks. Mutable signs welcome in change. They bring change, and they usually are known for being like very adaptable. So they'll adapt to like different places, different people, so on. And then cardinal signs are basically like leaders. So they'll be the ones pushing through any change in life. And so let's see, mutable signs are Pisces, Sagittarius, Gemini, and Virgo. Fixed signs are Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpio. And then cardinal signs are the ones left over. So Capricorn, Cancer, Libra, and Aries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
So just straight up question, because I'm interested. Does the month that you're born in, because I know that for each zodiac sign there's dates in 2 months. Can that does that affect it at all? Like, or is it like you're like, because I'm a Pisces, like a February Pisces or a March Pisces, or is there going to be like a major difference between the two?
Yeah, so if you go like super nitty gritty into astrology, and astrology, it's a whole different field, right? So there are a lot of different aspects, and there are also like different ways of viewing astrology, kind of like how Christianity has different branches. Same thing with astrology. But anyways, the phenomenon you're touching on is like decans. So in astrology, there's like decan 1, decan 2, decan 3 for each sign. And each decan kind of is a different version of each sign.
Okay.
Yeah, it's DECAN, by the way, if you want to look it up later.
DECAN. Okay, great. Thank you. Yes, because my brother and I, we're both Pisces. We were born a year apart. He was born February 29th. I was born March 1st. And there are very noticeable differences between him and I.
Yeah, so that might also be because you have lots of other different signs and energies in your chart. So once you get down and figure out your moon sign and your rising sign and so on, you can totally see how different aspects of your personality might differ even if you guys had the same sun sign.
Okay, question. How do you find out your moon and rising signs?
Okay, so this is a great chance for me to push my cult, you guys. So co-star. So this is totally an inside joke. I'm not actually a part of any cult. For legal reasons, that is a joke. But so to find out your full entire chart, you can honestly just look up birth chart online or birth chart calculator, something like that. And then you have to make sure you know your birth location, your birth date, and also your specific birth time. And then it'll give you the internet is a beautiful place, so it'll give you a complete rundown of every single sign and every single aspect in your chart.
Okay, so you're Sun Scorpio, right?
Yeah, and I'm also Taurus rising, and I am Capricorn moon.
Okay, what is that like?
Okay, yeah, so
what does that say about you? I don't know.
Yeah, so sun sign is your main energy, so your consciousness, your main energy core. Moon sign is who your subconscious or who you are when you're alone and things like that. And then this is obviously super basic, by the way. And then rising sign is the way you come across to the world. So that would be people's first impression of you.
Okay, question. On the CoStar app, where can I find Rising?
Rising? Did you just download it?
Well, I had it already.
Oh my god, okay, wow, that's so cool. Okay.
I'm a Pisces Sun, Aquarius Moon, and a Libra Ascendant.
Yeah, which I guess is rising. Okay, it's just a different name. Aquarius Moon totally makes sense for you, though. Wait, Ocean, go ahead.
I'm gonna just look at what Aquarius Moon means.
Well, okay, I'm looking at this website, but it gives me all the planet, but it doesn't give me rising or ascendant.
Okay.
Okay. Wait, which one? What's the one you're looking at, Katie?
CoStar. You can download it off the App Store.
Okay. Yeah, CoStar
is not a promotion. This is for legal reasons. This is not an ad.
Yeah. So CoStar is a super basic introduction to astrology. I'm not gonna pretend that I'm an expert or anything, or I'm gonna be out here asking people to pay me money to read their charts or anything. But astrology is a super complex field, and it differs based on who's interpreting it. So is it interpret or interpreting? I don't know. I can't say things.
Interpreting?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I'm bad at talking. I was trying to figure out if it was incompatible or uncompatible, and I think it's in.
I feel that. There are so many words I just picked up from reading instead of actually talking about it with someone. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
but
what did we?
Minnie.
Shoot, sorry. Say that again.
Sorry, I'm just looking at my thing, and it's very accurate. My moon, Aquarius. The moon rules your emotions, moods, and feelings. This is likely. Well, it's saying that that's the sign I most think of myself as, but I've always identified as a Pisces, maybe because I never knew about moon and rising. And I guess a lot of people don't know about those two. They just focus on the sun one.
Yeah, it's okay. That's also why when people are I don't believe in astrology because I'm not a Taurus at all. It's because, astrology is so honestly complex. They're just, honestly, a lot of times they're just not seeing the full picture, right? Once you have all those other tiny signs, or not tiny, but once you find out all the other signs and aspects and everything else that goes into your chart, it starts to make a lot of sense. I've had so many times where I'm pushing a friend. I'm let me do your birth chart, please. And then I make them do their birth chart, and then they're hey, maybe I'm convinced. You have me convinced because it's so oddly, uncannily accurate to who they are as a person.
Yeah. I guess
Oh my
that's
gosh, my rising sign is a Gemini.
a
Okay.
Gemini. Ooh.
I can see that.
I know.
What does that
I don't
mean?
know either.
It means like when you first meet people, like you come up as like a Gemini, so maybe very like talkative, bubbly, social. Maybe let me think. So they're obviously, different. Gemini energy can like manifest in different ways. So maybe you also come up as like clinical and analytical, kind of like that.
Yeah, I'm thinking about when Ocean and I first met, way back in summer of 2019.
Oh, ancient
So
times.
long ago. Kenyon for the win. Yeah.
For real.
It wasn't the vibe I got from you, Ocean, I have to say. You
Yeah,
weren't that talkative.
yeah,
you were
I'm a
very
quiet
nice.
person.
Geminis can also be
I don't
very
know.
shy too. It's just the way like they manifest
Yeah.
because there's different Gemini energy like it can come off in different ways, especially if you have like other signs that are really dominant in your chart. And we're not even talking about houses yet. Like once you get into houses, it becomes like a whole new world.
I don't even. This all sounds very. How did you learn all of this? Like, did you spend like time?
Honestly, yeah. So actually, I want to talk about this because it's important to me. So like everyone's always like astrology isn't real, and you see all these memes where it's like, oh my God, girls hit you with a car and then say, sorry, I'm a Capri Sun, which I get because it is funny and some people do take it overboard. But I think astrology is really just like you have to think of it more as like a guidebook or like a way to interpret different energies you manifest versus like, oh my God, I'm a Scorpio, I'm gonna end up becoming a serial killer. It's more of it's really like a nature versus nurture thing. I personally really like astrology because it's helped me become more aware of like certain parts of me, certain aspects of my personality, right? So, Scorpio is known to be like a very intense sign and a sign of like very black and white extremes. And it's also known for being very like almost like too like clinically direct to a point. So I always like since I've known that I've been aware of like how I have like a very addictive personality. I can get very obsessive and I'm more self-aware now, which is an important trait in like all aspects of life.
Yeah, I can. That's good. I don't quite fully. I mean, we all have those things that we just like dive headfirst into and learn everything about it if we can. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I said aspects like so many times in this podcast. By the way, like I'm just a random observation.
We're 20 minutes in. We're fine.
It'd be like that.
Minnie, you totally sounds like an expert to me. Like, but I also wonder, like, could it be possible, like, the more you believe in it, like, it affects your personality in a way? Like, your personality would just like become closer to whatever house or like signs that you belong to.
I mean, I'm sure,
Is that
yeah, like, confirmation bias
yeah?
or whatever. But also, like, I don't know. I mean, ever since I've had astrology, I think, like, from a practical standpoint, right, astrology is such a great, like, icebreaker. Like, you're going up to somebody you don't know and you're like, hey, what's your sign? And then they're like, I don't know, Taurus. And you're like, hi, I'm a Taurus rising too. We're going to get along great. So, like, from a practical point, it's a really awesome icebreaker. And so maybe it is confirmation bias, but I personally don't see an issue with that. I think my life is better now that I like have this awareness of who I am and astrology as a passion. So I'm not picky about that.
Yeah, I'm glad it improves your life. And like, I mean, I see you like really focus on the positive when like during like a workshop or something, you like learn about different people's signs. Like you kind of focus on like how the ways that you and another person are compatible with, like rather than like how you're incompatible, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I try to think of astrology in like a good way, right? Like obviously there are some really like there are people out there who are like using their sign as an excuse for bad behavior and obviously, that's not great, but I try to like not be one of those people and just like remain like I still like astrology, but I'm also like very practical about it.
Yeah. See that.
So I feel like that's like a good take on how like because you were talking about how it's a good icebreaker. So just for funsies, do we want to see what the compatibility between all of our signs are?
Yes.
The sun signs.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not digging into anything deeper than that. Okay, so I'm just doing Pisces first because it's mine, and then you two are both Scorpio and Sagittarius.
Right.
So Scorpio and Pisces, they're both water signs, which we talked about. Okay, so apparently the sexual and intimacy compatibility is about 70%.
Oh my.
The communication and intellect is 90%. But our emotions, 99%. So we're very...
Water signs are in general very emotional.
Yes, I've experienced that. In summary, we're about 81% compatible, and I didn't even say all of them. I just said like the fun ones. I'll do Scorpio and Sagittarius now. So you and Ocean, only 25% sexual and intimacy compatibility.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Ocean,
guys.
we gotta never talk again.
Your trust is 1%.
Oh.
What?
Yeah, I don't think you guys... The communication and intellect is 80%. Emotions, 10. Values, 30. I'm only 30% compatibility overall. I'm not seeing a lot of compatibility.
You know, this is really funny because, okay, so tea time, all of my ex-boyfriends, well, actually I've only had one, but like every guy I've been like romantically involved with has had like Sagittarius influence in their lives. Like whether it's their sun sign or like their Venus sign, which dictates their love.
Oh, I see. And now you know why that ended. Okay, now Sagittarius and Pisces. I feel like I'm forgetting one combo after this one, but I'll get there. 30% sexual intimacy compatibility. 1% trust. Communication and intellect is 85% though, so we have 90% of shared activities though, Ocean. So, but summary, 50%, which, you know, that seems
workable.
Wait, is Sagittarius?
It says the first. Who's Sagittarius?
Huh?
Wait, Sagittarius is not compatible.
I guess not. 50% is compatibility.
This doesn't make sense. Most of my friends are water signs.
Well, I think this is the opening sentence of the summary. This is a relationship of two kindred spirits that often doesn't last very long. So I think it says at first it will be challenging for them to leave the platonic zone. So I'm assuming this is more about like love, like romantic relationships. So, but it doesn't mention anything about like their platonic relationships, and it says that they would stay in the platonic zone for a while. So I'm forgetting one combo though. So,
well, Ocean, what's your moon sign?
Cancer.
Yeah, see, that makes sense because Cancer is a water sign, and I've always got more Cancer vibes from you. Like you're just very intuitive, and like you okay, Sagittariuses in my experience are very talkative people, right? Like they're very philosophical, but I feel like you always let other people speak. You know, you want to hear their thoughts, so I feel like you're definitely more in tune with like your moon, which is why you might have like more water sign friends, even though your sun sign is not necessarily also a water sign.
Yo, that makes sense.
See,
I mean, growing up, I didn't really believe in astrology because I was like, there's no way I'm a Sagittarius. Like, I am introverted, I hate changes, and like, I'm not adventurous. But like, then I figured out I just like suppressed my personality for a long time. But I don't know. I feel like I'm still more in tune with like, you're right, like my water sign or like my moon sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so like I mean, Sagittarius is, even though like the classic Sagittarius is always like, you know, very like outgoing, adventurous, funny, practical joker kind of vibes, but not necessarily all are. Sometimes being adventurous may mean more like being adventurous in your thoughts too, like being open-minded, you know. Sagittarius love philosophy, so just like being willing to like kind of explore other people's thoughts, like that's a different type of open-minded too. Or
Yeah,
you
that
might
totally
be
makes sense.
not open-minded, adventurous. Or you might like be a foodie or something. You might want to be like adventurous in other aspects of your life.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I'm an adventurous eater, and like I love exploring places. And like, okay, so I'm a Sagittarius, so that's probably the reason the professor said I sounds like a philosophy major.
Oh.
Ooh, you're getting into a philosophy major.
I'm going to college soon, and like I met with like the chair of the philosophy department, and she was like, "You sounds like a philosophy major."
Oh.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
See,
I mean, yeah.
yeah. I'm just, even if like you don't truly believe in it, every so often you find that thing in your zodiac sign that like is like, oh hey, I followed this path that my sign said I was like philosophy. It's always like, and obviously you're looking for it more so when you're thinking about it, but still, like it's just nice to be like, oh hey, cosmic reason for doing this.
Yeah, and
It's
honestly,
fun.
what was I gonna say? I had a thought. Oh yeah. So once you get like again into the nitty gritty, like into like houses and stuff, it makes so much sense. So I have like a lot of signs. I have a lot of planets in my sixth house, and sixth house basically covers like the routine, work orientated part of my life. And because I have so many major planets in my sixth house, I find that like being hardworking and being productive brings me a lot of joy, and that because of these influences I tend to be like really ambitious, and I tend to really crave routine and stability.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So sorry, my voice is muffled. So I have pulled up some of like, just to go to a new topic now, so we're not talking about the same thing for another 20 minutes, but I would love to. I have like the biggest stereotypes about each of the signs, and I was just like, oh hey, do we think that applies to us or not?
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's go into it.
Okay, so let me just see which one of, I'm just gonna do the sun signs again. So okay, so Scorpio. What's your birthday again, Minnie?
My birthday is November 9.
Okay. Stereotype. They're too intense. Can't they just take a chill pill and lighten up?
I think that's very applicable to me, especially when I'm like really getting into something. I can be like super intense and passionate about things, and I'm also like that intensity also translates to my personal relationships too. Like when I like someone, I like really like them, and I'm super affectionate about it.
Here's what the source for this stereotype comes from. As the sign associated with sex, death, and the underworld. Oh, good opening.
I know.
Scorpio is here to delve beneath the surface of life, discover what is hidden, and bring to light what the other astrological signs are too afraid to acknowledge. The ultimate purpose of all that intensity is healing and transformation at the deepest level. They might need a reminder to look on the bright side from time to time, but if you want superficiality and frivolity, look to another sign.
Mm-hmm.
Frivolity?
Oh yeah, I'm a very loyal person too. I mean, I think I'm definitely super Scorpio. Like, even though so Scorpios have the stereotype that they're like really emo and like dark, and they wear like goth clothes and they don't open up. But honestly, I'm pretty open, and I'm like pretty outgoing, you know. So, but I think I'm still like a very traditionally Scorpio because I'm always going through some type of phase. Like, I'm always like changing from one version of myself to like another version of myself, which I think ties into like the whole Scorpio like this whole Scorpio energy and idea of like constant transformation and moving from one part of your life to the next.
That is very
Yo,
insightful.
You're welcome.
I have two other Squirrel fans. Bleh. Wait. Okay. Just cut off out for a sec. I was gonna say I have like 2 other Scorpio friends, and they're like polar opposite. And like one of them is like really stable, and like it's like she can lie to people, and like she can't really tell if like she's very like gullible, you know.
Gullible?
And like another person is like more like stereotypically Scorpio, I guess. It's like an emo person and like going through phases like Minnie, you do.
Yeah, I think it's so funny that you're like talking about this person and then you're like, she gets lied to a lot. I don't know, that just geeks me out. But yeah, there's a concept in astrology, and this is like super modern. Because you know, with all like the modern Twitter stuff of like growing and like good vibes and stuff. But you know, the concept of like being evolved, like you're an evolved Scorpio versus unevolved Scorpio, which basically means that like you have aren't developed or underdeveloped depending on like who you're talking to, but it basically means that you have like the better parts of your sign and you've like developed those stuff, and then you've like left behind the bad parts of your sign, you know? So for Scorpio, it would be like, I've learned to channel my intensity into like doing good for the world and like leaving behind the part of me that like obsesses and holds grudges over things.
Yeah. So the Ocean, when's your birthday?
December 3rd.
December 3rd. Okay. So here's the Sagittarius stereotype. The flighty archer is always ready to jump on the next plane to anywhere if things get too heavy, which heavy is in quotes. Does that just mean like you're like I know archer is referring to the constellation itself, but this seems a lot more metaphorical.
I don't know if this is
Scorpio does.
Well,
I don't know if this is saying I just really love travels, or like it doesn't mean like I avoid responsibilities.
I think that's partially what it's saying. Here's the source of the stereotype. Sagittarius is the adventurer of the zodiac, here to expand beyond limits and borders and explore unknown territory. Travel equals freedom in the mind of many of Sagittarius. Sometimes they forget that they're responsible for creating a sense of freedom from within, and can use a reminder that wherever you go, there you are. Oh, I don't get what that means. As long as they're finding some way to indulge their adventurous spirit, there are plenty of archers who settle down and stay in one place with one partner. I mean, you were talking about how like you're adventurous in like some ways, but
yeah, I mean, freedom is a huge thing for me, but like freedom means more about like freedom of the mind. Just like I have the ability to think for myself, and like I have like the knowledge to make decision independently, then like for freedom. I mean, obviously I wouldn't be willing to be like trapped in a place, but I mean, which we are kind of all are in quarantine, but like
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, actually like that stereotype fits my ex-boyfriend and like all my ex like flings really well, because in my experience, when it comes to dating, like Sagittariuses are notoriously flighty and like non-committable. They're like one of the signs most known for cheating. I'm sorry to say it, Ocean. I believe in the best of you though, so.
Yeah, I feel like that doesn't really apply to me, just because like
you're a good person.
I mean, I'm still like no, just because like I'm still like questioning my romantic attraction, and I don't know if I want like the romance part, but I know I want the commitment part. Yeah. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here we come to Pisces.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited to hear this.
My birthday is March 1st. So best month for the stereotype is the fish is escapist and spaced out and often found downing one too many at the local bar. Here's the thing. I do agree with the escapist and spaced out. I don't feel like the local bar thing applies, because I'm
you can't drink
17 also, but like we all know kids do it, but I don't, because I'm freaking lame, guys. I'm gonna cut that part out. But here's where the source of that stereotype comes from. Pisces is on assignment to transcend everyday reality. Their job is to communicate with the imagination and the unconscious and report back what they've discovered. Often when they appear not to be doing anything useful, they're actually serving their higher purpose. Because of their sensitivity to others' thoughts and emotions, they need lots of rest and retreat time. Consciously traveling to parallel universes with a spiritual practice or creative outlet helps them avoid falling into escapist habits. I kind of agree with that because I always find myself when things get too intense and like I feel myself being overwhelmed by the world, I go to my room and I always just like indulge myself with one of the things that I particularly enjoy. Like, and like I do writing, I listen to music. I agree. I agree with it.
Yeah, I think so. I think Pisces are super creative because they're so sensitive to what other people like, and they kind of absorb that. And I think that really makes them like one of the most creative and like artsy orientated signs. Like so many Pisces I know are like writers or artists of some type.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like the only Pisces besides my brother that I know. So.
Oh wow, okay.
I mean, like I have like a cousin or two, but
Valid.
like no one in my friend group that I know is a Pisces.
Really? What is your friend group like?
My friend group here, I don't remember all of the. So I did have an ex at one point. She was I can't remember if she was a Gemini or a Cancer because I feel like her birthday is like either right before June 20th or right after, so it's hard to remember.
I feel that.
I have a best friend who her birthday is July 10th, so she's also a Cancer.
That makes sense. Water signs like to flock together.
Then my other best friend is a Leo, and they are so sweet and so nice. And and then I also have another friend who she's whatever the February one is. She's the one that's before. She's an Aries? No, because that's March 21st to April 19th. What's the one in February?
February might be Aquarius. Or Pisces.
She's an Aquarius.
Ooh, yeah, I get that. My little friend group is actually like three people so there's 5 people, right? And 3 people have Cancer moons, which I think is like the strangest coincidence, but I also like not really because it makes sense that we're all drawn together by like that Cancer moon energy. There's also like a Libra guy and we're working on it, but like he won't tell us anything about his signs, which is very sad. So
you're working on it?
We're working on it. We're going to recruit him and make him listen.
Just like subtly ask questions over time, like, hey, do you know what like city you were born in and like what time zone and like AM, PM?
You know? Yeah, I actually for a long time, so I was born in Minnesota, but then I moved to Virginia, right? And so my birth time in Minnesota was 5:51, but obviously, different time zones. And so when I was first doing my natal chart, birth chart, whatever, I can never say natal, but I thought I was a Gemini like rising for a long time, and then I realized I got the times wrong, and I was actually a Taurus rising, and it was such a revelation, honestly.
My mom experienced something like that when she was going to like I'm just gonna say psychic because I feel like there was a more specific name, but for what this woman did like specifically, but so she asked my mom a ton of questions like what time were you born, what year, like all that stuff, right? And then like the day of, my mom gets there and the woman's doing like her like setting up, and my mom's like, oh shoot, I forgot to tell you, I was born in California.
Oh.
So the woman was all like, oh, now I have to do this all over. Oh. But like people, when you ask like what time you're born, you just say the time. It doesn't always occur to you like time zones. Like if I was in California right now, I'd be like, oh hey, I was born at 9:44 p.m. I wouldn't like adjust that to be what it would be in California.
Right, yeah, because you just don't think about it.
Yeah. Especially, like, you think about it if, like, oh, hey, you're somewhere on vacation and you're there for a week, but if you've, like, lived, like, my mom, like, she was in California when she was born, and then her parents, like, did a cross-country road trip out to New York, and then they lived here for, like, the rest of her life. So, it doesn't occur to you. Sorry.
I feel that, yeah. How about you, Ocean? What's your experience?
It's like, I mean, I was born in like Beijing, China, but I feel like whenever you enter like the time in like the app or whatever website, like you just enter like the local time of your birth city. So I haven't really thought about that. I mean, okay, this is completely unrelated, but I also love how we are talking about friendships because I feel like astrology as a community just like hyper focus on like romance in terms of like compatibility. Like, I mean, we were talking about this earlier, and like I was thinking how we never, like, how there's like, when you're looking at like the compatibility between two signs, like they're not really fixated on like family relationship or like friendships, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
And, like,
Ocean.
Yeah.
Say there was a child being born right now in Beijing, China, and later in their life they move to wherever you're in Missouri,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like what, almost 8 there?
Yeah, it's actually it's 8.
It's 8. Okay, so guess what time it's. Beijing is like 13 hours ahead of you.
Yeah, I think so.
So, like, that kid was born on a whole different day. Like, does that, like, occur to you? Like, what time do you know what time you were born?
I mean, I was born in, like, at 5, around 5 in the afternoon.
Oh,
so
well,
it
actually,
would be
so that
like,
was the same day.
Yeah, it would be, like, 4 in the morning, right?
But it was still the same day, at least. So that, I was like, oh, hey, what if you just were born on a whole ass different day in, like,
I mean,
US
I'm really curious because, like, there are people who have, like, a different birthday than the one that is on their birth certificate, you know? And I was like, that must feel really weird when you are, like, entering, like, for more information, you put down, like, a different birthday than your actual birthday, or, like, which one do you celebrate? I don't know.
I mean, I can't relate to that, but I can have, like, the whole celebrating on a day that isn't your birthday, because my brother, leap year baby, so he doesn't have a birthday. Like, he has a birthday every 4 years, so it kind of sucks. And, like, from what I've heard, a lot of people who have their birthday on February 29th tend to just celebrate it the next day, because, hey, in terms of, like, timeline, February 28th, March 1st, February 29th should have been there. That's, like, how but, like, my birthday is March 1st. So my brother isn't allowed to celebrate on my birthday. So he has to celebrate on February 28th. That's all I can get. But he always says his birthday's the 29th when asked. Like, he doesn't be like, oh, it's the 28th.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I mean, I feel like whenever as I acquire more knowledge about astrology, I'm gonna like believe in it more. But it's also a really terrifying thought because like if like the exact birth time and like your birth city can be like planned. So like I heard of parents who like plan their baby so like their baby would have like a specific astrology sign. Like what do you think about that?
That's a follow-up topic. Issue 3 is going to be released soon, but we do have issues 1 and 2 up on our website, so you can feel free to check those out. Take care of yourself, keep writing, and have a great day. Ocean, what you said, like, here's like a cute little, not cute, a weird little question. Would you reject someone because their signs are incompatible? Which I guess, like, in terms of relationships, if you seriously believed in it, maybe, but for me, like, I wouldn't be thinking about it when I'm getting with someone. Would you guys be like, when you like, you'd be like, oh, when's your birthday? But you wouldn't be like, oh, so you're a Sagittarius. That's the only one I can think of.
I mean, I generally trust my intuition more than like the surface knowledge I have about astrology. So like I feel like maybe if like my intuition tell me it's like there's something wrong with like this relationship, and I would end up finding out like our signs are not compatible, but I wouldn't like not give someone a chance because our signs are like incompatible on this website, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what you said, would you pick a specific sign for your baby?
No.
No.
I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah, I think it would just also depend on like my partner's sign too, like that whole family dynamic and everything. I mean, you know, but honestly, like I would just, I would love my child like regardless of their sign.
What's like, okay, wait. This is just like an opinion question. What's the worst sign in your opinion?
Oh. I mean,
Katie, I'm
as
gonna
you
like sound
said,
like such an awful person, but most of the time I just don't get along with Pisces. I'm so sorry, Katie.
I'm like the only one, so it's fine.
It's okay. You have like a readable moon. I vibe with your moon sign, but yeah.
Okay, great.
Just like
good moon sign.
yeah, just like in my opinion, like some of the Pisces I've met are like very known for being like manipulative and victim playing, which I just don't, I just don't vibe with that. But I know you're not the same, so
yeah. So you would love your child even if it was a Pisces?
yeah, I would love a Pisces child anyways, but I'm sure I would, not my top preference right there, but
not the top preference.
But we'll make it work.
Mm-hmm. Like due, say like February something. That's like it's a Pisces. Would you try and like invoke an early labor? This is a joke, but like, would you be like any date before February 9th? If you're like are due anywhere between February 19th and March 20th, would you like try and make sure it's not that time span?
You mean like I would just like hold it in?
Well, like sometimes you can invoke early labor, or like say like the due date's like March 19th.
Oh boy, yeah.
Shit. Would you like try and be like, oh hey, because like I know this isn't like what you can do, but sometimes it just if you're like, oh hey, if this kid's a Pisces, seriously, you would rather wait for it to be like an Aries or something.
Well, I think part of astrology is like accepting the flaws you have and then like working more so on like improving the traits that like the stars or whatever the energy like you have been blessed with. And so like obviously I wouldn't be like, oh my god, let me just spend like whatever amount of money American hospitals require to induce early labor. So it's like an Aquarius. I mean, if it comes as a Pisces, then it's like, oh, a little sad, but I'll love you anyway. Yeah.
It's a fish. That's the funniest
I love
thing
my
to me
fishies.
About zodiac signs. Like everyone else is like such a cool thing, and then it's the fish. This is why Pisces is always at the bottom of the list, though.
Yeah.
Like, you ever see those Instagrams where like it's like the signs as such and such. Like every time I see one of those, I always know. I'm never interested in seeing what any of the other signs are because I don't really like care about that stuff. But I always know I have to go to the last page to just see what a Pisces is because it's just in this calendar that they make for it. It's the last one.
There's actually, okay, this is going to sound like super metaphysical, but there's actually this concept of age in signs. So Aries is the youngest sign, and Pisces is like the oldest sign.
Oh.
Yeah. Like it's very complicated. I honestly don't know too much myself, but you should definitely check it out.
Okay, we will. Yeah. I think you got like 5 more minutes or something?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to. Do we just want to do a quick? How do we think astrology signs have helped us to understand ourselves?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, what is it like a Scorpio or a Sagittarius or a Pisces for us three? Like, how do we think that's like, because I know for me as like a Pisces, when I like first started like looking into all this stuff, and I was like, you're very creative, you're sensitive, you have all of these things, and I was like, I can see myself in all of these, and like it helped me be like, oh hey, it's very like because even at, like, because insecure teenager Katie was just like, why am I so sensitive? And then it being like, oh, hey, this is because this is your zodiac sign, and like, then here's a way you can channel it to make it something that's positive. That was something that I think helped me.
Yeah, I totally feel that.
Yeah.
My relationship with astrology is like the same. It's given me so much like more perspective. It's a really amazing icebreaker, and it's just a fun topic to explore and kind of just go down a rabbit hole in. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I relate to you in like the way your sign kind of like affirms you because like I was growing up, I was the quiet kid, and like going into high school, I was like really afraid to become a different person. Like so, then I like kind of like learned a little about astrology. I was like, oh, this makes sense. Like I didn't change fundamentally. Like I inherently just love freedom and like some type of adventures. So
Yeah.
I mean, also like I actually learned like my moon sign pretty recently, and I think I was talking to Minnie about it actually, and I was like, this makes a lot of sense. Like it makes sense why I'm such a crybaby. Like not actually.
Oh shit.
I mean, no, it just like explain like the more sensitive side of me, and I'm now like being like super insecure about, oh, this make me less of a man, toxic masculinity. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, well, that was like an awesome conversation. I had a lot of fun.
Me
And
too. Yeah, it was good to sit down and
every
talk with
time-
you guys.
Yeah, every time I
Yeah.
like try and like I dive in a little bit to zodiacs, I always like come out like I'm just like I need to learn everything now
Me too.
because I
Me
need
too.
to be. Yeah, it's just because there's so much that we didn't talk about. We didn't talk about like the houses or like the planets, which that can be a whole other thing if we want it to be. So, but okay. So, thank you for listening to the IRE podcast. We will be linking some helpful resources and places you can donate to for the Black Lives Matter movement in the description. Don't forget to check out our blog on theincandescentreview.org for more information and news stories. Thank you so much for listening to the IRE. I said that already. I hope you enjoyed this episode tremendously on zodiac signs. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment or review below. And hey, comment what your sun, moon, and rising signs are. Please go follow us on Instagram at the Incandescent Review. Please be our